The Minister of State for Crime and Policing, Kit Malthouse. Good to see you. Good morning to you.
I must admit, Mr. Malthouse, I'm not aware. I didn't know this was a big issue. How big an issue? How big a problem is this at football matches?
So the police tell us it's been an increasing problem over the last year or so, and certainly the reports, the investigations into the disorder we saw at the Euro final, Euro 2020, pointed towards the role of Class A drugs, particularly cocaine, in that disorder. And of course, football banning orders are preventative. So if someone gets convicted of a crime at a football match, whether that's hate-related or violence-related, now drug-related, they're convicted of that crime, and alongside that we put this preventative order that means, as you say, they can't go to a football match for 3 to 5 years. If their team is playing overseas, they may have to surrender their passports so they can't travel, to prevent that violence. But it's also part of a signal that we're trying to send, Eamon, that is to people who take drugs and think there is no consequence to their action, that actually they are playing a part in a huge and massive violent logistics operation that is bringing those drugs from South America to their home, and that they need to understand the part they're playing in that awful trade.
And also, I mean, only this week we're seeing an upturn in pitch invasions. Sheffield United and Forest today. Assault on players on the pitch. I mean, sometimes behaviour that you just can't explain. So, you know, maybe you're looking at this and thinking, well, something extraordinary must have taken part here. And also, I think you're very timely with this because, you know, with the World Cup coming up in Qatar in November, they'll take no prisoners there, literally.
Yeah, no, that's correct. I mean, we've absolutely seen a rise in disorder, sadly, since the release from lockdown, the resumption of fans attending games in full across a number of leagues, not just confined to particular areas. And we think, and the police believe, that Class A drugs is driving quite a lot of that disorder. Obviously, there are strict rules about alcohol in football, no drinks within inside of the pitch, all that kind of stuff. And we have had, you know, in the 70s and 80s, you will well remember, you know, had to deal with some really very serious violence and hooliganism on an organised basis. Football banning orders have played a huge part in rooting out that problem. We've got about 1,400 in place at the moment. The really difficult customers that we want to drive out. When we saw post-Euro 2020, you know, the rise in online hate, we added that to the football banning orders. Now we're going to add Class A because we think it's driving a lot of this violence. But notwithstanding that, right, it's not just in the ground. You know, if you are travelling on a train, you've got lots of other passengers, families, whatever, and your behaviour is affected by the consumption of narcotics, there needs to be a consequence for that kind of behaviour on the way to a match as well as during.